Oh, hey there.
Oh, hey there.
Welcome to the History Buffoons.
I'm Bradley.
I'm Kate.
Go ahead, sorry.
Oh, I was just going to ask how you doing.
I'm good. We just watched the Kentucky Derby.
Yes, we did.
Which we did an episode on last
The
year.
history, of the Kentucky Derby last year.
I turned my ears down. And, oh boy, what was the name of the horse that just won? It wasn't mine.
Golden Tempo.
Golden Tempo, that's right.
Yeah.
So my original horse, Great White, scratched at the last second. Poor guy. He flipped over almost onto his jockey. And
It's so sad.
and he was such a pretty horse too. So I went with one of the co-favorites, which I felt was kind of a cop-out. And I picked Renegade, and he ended up second. So, and you picked
Albus. Because of Harry Potter.
Yeah, Mr. Dumbledore.
And he did not make it onto
any screen.
Any screen. That's okay though.
I never saw his final place. But
yeah.
Either way, so which leads us into today's episode.
The history of the Preakness.
So we did the Kentucky Derby last year. It was our first attempt at video too on YouTube.
It was horrible.
It was a terrible experience.
Well,
the video portion of it.
Yeah.
I've learned a lot since then.
You have. As have I.
That's the first and only video to cut out halfway through. Well, no, there was one other video that we never put out for a video because it just was all messed up until we started using different things. But anyways, so
go easy on us if you go back to that one.
Well, we appreciate the extra downloads today, leading up to today because of the Derby. So we hope someone learned something. I don't know.
Yeah, for sure.
But today is going to be about the Preakness. Mm-hmm. And yes, I do know about this episode because we had planned this out on purpose because we just watched the Derby. So that's obviously was today. The Preakness is in 2 weeks. This episode, as you hear it, will be coming out literally the Tuesday prior to the Preakness. So today we're having the signature Preakness cocktail. It's called a Black Eyed Susan. I found multiple recipes. This is the one I landed on. I'm going to be honest, not a huge fan, like mint juleps. Okay. But we'll see what you like.
You like mint juleps.
I love.
Okay, so and that was the Kentucky Derby cocktail.
Correct.
Okay. And this is a Black Eyed Susan.
Yeah, that's okay. And we'll obviously get into that more, why it's a Black Eyed Susan. But I had to bring my dad got me this years ago, my glass shaker. So I made it in that for Dad. But
what's in it?
All right, so and I made it 2 of them. Oh, we're using short glasses, whatever. It's an ounce of bourbon, ounce of vodka, ounce of peach schnapps, 2 ounces of orange juice, 2 ounces of sour per a drink is what it is.
Okay.
Sweet and sour, whatever. That's what we got. So it's. I didn't bother with the garnishes because we're not having many of them. So cheers.
Yeah, we're just having like the one, maybe 1.5.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't mind it.
Okay, I take that back. I apparently make it better than the bartender who made it for me.
Okay.
This tastes better than the one I had.
I feel like it needs just a touch more sweetness.
Maybe.
Just a hair.
Yeah.
That's good.
No, I take what I said back earlier. No shade towards the bartender, but I felt like I made this better.
Okay. Upon second sip, it does taste really good.
Yeah.
Maybe doctoring it isn't needed.
I don't think so. No, this is way better than the other one I had.
Wow.
Nice. Well, happy accidents, I guess. So I'm glad I still went through with it. But we also do have some backup beers.
Yes.
You got that one. I'll get this one. I got an orange shandy, which Kate has never had.
And I have the honey lemon light.
Which you and I have tried that before,
have we?
I think.
I don't recall.
I don't recall either.
But we have one of each. Yeah. Just in case we didn't like our cocktail. So.
Well, not even just in case. Once the cocktail's
Okay, so congratulations to Golden Tempo. So I'll just kind of briefly refresh on last year's episode on the Kentucky Derby. As far as like horse racing kind of goes back. It like shows up in like super early civilizations.
Well, yeah.
It's a very, very, very old sport.
Yep.
The ancient Greeks ran chariot races and mounted races in the Olympics. The Romans turned it into like a massive event.
Yep.
And then regions like Arabia and North Africa began developing horse breeds. And then in England, racing started as a way to show off horses for sale.
Sure.
But by the time Henry VIII and James I of England, it had become more of a structured sport with that royal backing.
Sure. That makes sense.
So in America, organized racing began in the 1600s, originally focused on endurance. And after the Civil War, it shifted to speed.
Right.
And that's the version of racing that we know of today.
Yeah. It evolved into what it is today.
Yes.
Yeah. For sure.
So once horse racing had evolved into something more structured, like the rules and the breeding and the competition and all that, you start to see these like individual races that are trying to establish themselves kind of come out of the limelight.
Yep.
So that's what happened to the Preakness Stakes.
Come into the limelight.
What did I say?
Out of.
Into the limelight.
Because the limelight is a good thing.
We like the limelight.
It's an
I
idiom.
love lime.
It's an idiom we did a long time ago.
Oh, I don't remember it.
I know.
So the name Preakness comes from a horse owned by Odin Bowie.
Yep.
He was a former Maryland governor who played a major role in developing horse racing in the state.
Yeah.
The horse Preakness won the Dinner Party Stakes in 1870. It was one of the first major races held at this race course when it opened.
Because that's just when it opened.
Yes. So that win helped establish this track early on. And throughout this history, I'm actually going to be asking Bradley some questions to see what his knowledge is, because he knows a lot more about horse racing than I do. So one of the questions is, what year was the first Preakness Stakes run?
1890.
1873.
Damn it. No, I fucked that up. Yeah, I knew that was 73.
1890 was one of my options, though.
I know. No, I fucked that up. I knew it was 1873.
1873. It was actually 2 years before the Kentucky Derby first started.
Right. But it wasn't also... It's a weird... So, like, the beginning of the fucking Preakness is really kind of strange, because it was the Dinner Party Stakes early on until it was renamed the Preakness after that horse, which I never knew until recently. But like, so like getting a clarification on it, that's why I went with 1890, because the thing I saw was not right. It was all over the place. It's like 1873, 1870, 1890. It's like, well, which fucking one is it?
Yeah. So because it places the Preakness right in that early era of American horse racing, everything was still trying to be figured out. And this Preakness was not a part of the Triple Crown yet.
No, that's not until the 1900s.
So Baltimore, Maryland wanted to compete in places like New York. They needed something that would draw attention, money, prestige, and Preakness was part of that effort.
Right.
So the Preakness Stakes is held at which historic race course? Do you know?
Pimlico
Race Course, correct.
Trying to clean my glasses and I'm fucking shit up.
So while that is true, it wasn't always that simple.
Right.
Pimlico became the home, but not immediately.
Right.
In the early years, horse racing didn't have these fixed traditions, and tracks competed, schedules shifted, and races moved when it made sense financially or logistically. So at one point in history, the Preakness Stakes temporarily left Baltimore.
Oh, where did it go?
Where did it go?
Oh, I don't know that question.
You have 4 options.
Okay.
Chicago.
Fuck.
New York.
No.
Philadelphia.
Yes.
Or Boston.
Boston.
It went to New York.
It did go to New York.
The race didn't have... Go ahead.
Only reason why I didn't pick New York is because that's where the Belmont is. But...
So the race didn't have an identity yet. It had to follow the money. So in 1890, Morris Park Race Course in the Bronx, New York, hosted the Preakness Stakes.
Okay.
And even when the Preakness started to stabilize, it still didn't look like what it does today.
Right.
There were differences that shaped how it was run and who could even compete. So one of the biggest differences early on was that the Preakness wasn't always a straight stakes race the way it is now.
Okay.
It was run as a handicap race.
Oh.
This is not part of my questions, but do you know what that is?
Oh, shit. Isn't it? No.
So,
I don't remember exactly what the difference between a stakes and a handicap is.
So it wasn't about like a disadvantage. I have to sneeze.
Gesundheit. Bless you. She normally does it in twos.
It came out of nowhere.
Well, came out of your nose.
Horses were assigned different weights to carry during the race based on their past performance.
That's wild.
So better, more successful horses were given more weight, and less proven horses carried less.
And they were, in essence, just trying to balance out the
Exactly.
horse.
They were leveling the playing field.
Yeah.
So if one horse had been dominating races, you didn't let them just show up and run at the same weight as everybody else. You added more weight to make it competitive. So in theory, every horse had a more equal shot at winning.
Okay.
So trainers had to think about how much weight their horse could realistically handle. Outcomes could be less predictable because you weren't always watching the fastest horse. You were watching how well they could perform under these adjusted conditions.
Right. Which is wild that they would do that.
So over time, the Preakness moved away from that format.
Thank God.
As racing became more standardized and stakes races there were where horses compete under more equal conditions. That became the norm. And the new equal conditions where horses were generally similar or fixed weights already. They were grouped by aging category, and there were fewer like artificial adjustments based on past performance.
Well, and isn't that why like jockeys they have to be under a certain weight is because of those standards or whatever?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So there were also changes about who could run. So today the Preakness is restricted to 3-year-old thoroughbreds.
Well, that's the whole Triple Crown, yes.
But that wasn't always strictly enforced.
No.
In the late 1800s, the race experimented with conditions and eligibility as it tried to figure out what its identity is. And eventually the age restriction settled at 3 years old.
Right.
So 3-year-olds represent kind of a specific stage in a racehorse's development. They're physically mature enough to compete at a high level, but they haven't yet had long careers that would create like performance gaps between horses. And it would keep the race limited to that age group, which helped create a more level and meaningful competition.
Right.
It also became essential once the Triple Crown structure took shape. All 3 races, Kentucky Derby, Preakness, Belmont, needed to follow the same age restriction of the series to make it make sense. So, but even with all of those adjustments, the race still went through periods where it wasn't run at all.
Oh, really?
One of the most notable gaps came in the early 1890s when the Preakness didn't take place for about 3 years. From 91 to 93, the race was not held at all. It was part of like a larger disruption happening in horse racing at the time. Tracks were competing heavily with each other. The financial stability wasn't guaranteed, and the structure of the sport was still really inconsistent.
Right.
So some races gained prominence, and others faded, like the Preakness, for a brief while.
Yeah.
So depending on the state and political climate, racing could also could be encouraged 1 year and then restricted the next wherever it's being taken place. So that instability made it difficult for any single race to maintain its continuity.
Right.
So when the Preakness returned in 1894, it was still working towards that consistency. A lot of races of that era didn't survive those kinds of disruptions.
No.
And for the 15 years from 1894 through 1908, the race was held at Gravesend Racetrack. I just added horse. On Coney Island, New York.
Oh, really? Mm-hmm. That's wild.
Exactly. So that brings me to my next question.
Oh, shit.
What is the approximate distance of the Preakness Stakes today?
1 3/16.
That is correct. 1 3/16.
I think it's the shortest of the 3 races.
So
Belmont's the longest.
Yes, I do recall that. So early on, the race experimented with different distances.
Yep.
Some favored speed over stamina. And of course, it made it harder to build reputation and continuity and tradition and da-da-da-da. So I'm just going to kind of rattle off there's like 8 or 9 different distances.
It's wild that they changed it so much and that they finally landed on 1 3/16 because it's the shortest of the 3 races. But whatever.
So it started with 1.5 miles, and then it went to 1 1/4 miles, and then 1 1/16 miles, and then 1 mile and 70 yards, then 1 mile.
1 mile and 70 yards.
And then 1 1/8 mile, and then we landed on 1 3/16.
It's so wild.
We have been at 1 mile and 3/16 since 1925.
Right.
And then there was the schedule. It didn't always sit neatly between Kentucky Derby and the Belmont.
No.
Sometimes it actually came before the Derby. And sometimes the gap between between races didn't make much sense.
Sure.
There was no clear connection tying these events together.
No.
And that only started to solidify in the early 20th century when the idea of
the Triple
Crown began to take shape.
Yep.
But the 1930s, people started to recognize the Derby, the Preakness, the Belmont as a 3-part series.
Right.
And that is when the Preakness finally had more of a defined role in horse racing.
Yeah, and was actually considered not a laughingstock race. It was considered, like you said, a prominent race within the racing community. And of course, it's one of the 3 biggest races of horse racing all year, every year nowadays. So, yeah.
So, why is the Preakness often considered the make or break race of the Triple Crown?
Because if you win the Kentucky Derby and you don't win the Preakness, you're fucked in the Belmont. Mm-hmm. And if you can make the Preakness, you have a pretty good chance of going on to win the Triple Crown. But that would be
exactly. If it decides if the Triple Crown bid stays alive or not.
Yep. That's why I always hate, especially if you really like this horse. Cool, they won the Derby, and then you watch the Preakness. Like, fuck, they lost. I don't even want to watch the Belmont now.
Yeah, poor Belmont.
I know, which is sad, but I still watch it. But can't win the whole thing if you don't win them all. So.
Right. So that was kind of the turning point. Before that structure, the race was just one of many. Mm-hmm. And after it, the Preakness became the moment where everything either continues or it stops.
Yep. For horses, particular horses, yes.
So what makes the Preakness especially challenging for Kentucky Derby winners?
The weather.
Oh, that wasn't even an option for me. Why the weather? Why did you choose weather?
Because a lot of times it's rainy.
Oh.
In Baltimore, it gets very rainy this time of year. And it can be a very wet race.
Yeah.
Typically.
Dirty.
Not always.
A little muddy.
Yeah, a bit muddy.
Yeah.
So that would be one thing.
Yes.
What do you got?
I have a longer distance.
Clearly not.
Yeah. So Preakness, what makes Preakness challenging for the Kentucky Derby winners? Longer distance, higher prize money, short turnaround time between races, and different jockey rules.
I'm going to go with short turnaround.
Short turnaround. Yeah. Yes. There are only about 2 weeks between the Derby and the Preakness, and that's not a lot of time for recovery.
Yeah, and it's not only it's only.
Pardon?
It's only.
Oh, yes. So, meanwhile, new horses can enter the Preakness fresh.
Correct.
Without having run the Derby at all.
Correct.
So,
because there's only so many spots in the Derby. You might not have qualified for the Derby, but you're still a good horse. You might and after the Derby, so there ended up being 18 after my horse that I initially picked scratched right at the end. There's from what I understand, or from my from my memory, Preakness always drops a shit ton of horses. Oh. It's one of the smallest fields in all 3 races, or it can be. I might be mixing up Belmont and Preakness, but a lot of the horses that raced in the Derby today will not be in the Preakness.
If I recall, did we watch the Belmont last year?
I thought so.
Because there was only like 8.
Yeah, and that's why I might be mixing those 2 up. But again, like you said, make or break race. So that's also why the Belmont might not be that. But I always,
and the Belmont's a lot farther distance.
It's the longest race of all 3. But you get 4 weeks in between the Preakness and the Belmont, whereas you only get the 2 weeks for this. But I might be mixing that up. But in my mind, I keep thinking, like, I always see, like, the Preakness doesn't have that many horses. But I could be wrong.
They had, 18 you said?
Today, yeah. In the Derby. But again, that's out of the 3, the Derby's the biggest race.
Yeah.
And it's the start of the Triple Crown. So if you can't win that, make or break nothing. You can't win anything. Yeah.
So because the Preakness can have these fresh horses come in, you now have a situation where the favorite isn't always an advantage.
Nope.
Fatigue becomes a factor. Strategy matters more. And that's part of why the race can feel so unpredictable, as we saw today with the Kentucky Derby. Like the winner, Golden Tempo, right? Golden Tempo. He was like second to last for the longest time.
Not last. He might have even been last at one point. But yeah, he was definitely second to last for sure. And same with Renegade. Renegade was, I think, just before him.
Yeah.
Who got second, who was my second pick. Yeah. And you never know what the fucking can happen. But yeah.
So over time, as the structure becomes more stable, traditions start to develop.
Yes.
What flower is traditionally associated with the Preakness winner?
Black-eyed Susan.
Black-eyed Susan.
Hence the name of the cocktail.
They are tied to Maryland, which reinforces the race's identity.
Well, it's the Maryland state flower.
There is a small twist.
What?
Are the flowers on the winning horse actually real black-eyed Susans?
I'd go with no.
They are substitutions. So the real flowers aren't in bloom in May, so the blanket is designed to look like them.
Gotcha.
In the 1940s, organizers officially tied the Preakness Stakes to Maryland's state flower, the black-eyed Susan. The flowers don't bloom until June or July, so they have a problem.
Pretty much.
So, they used substitute flowers like daisies or chrysanthemums. And they painted or modified them to resemble black-eyed Susans.
Makes sense.
So over time, that evolved into what they use today, which is Viking palms, a type of chrysanthemum, with their centers darkened to match the look.
Oh, okay. I mean, it makes sense. Yes. Me being not a botanist or have any kind of green thumb in my body.
Same.
I would have never guessed or cared.
You should see my yard.
No, please, people don't. It's atrocious.
It's atrocious yard.
I can't believe I have to drive up to this place.
We're trying.
Are you?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's still been frosty out. It's May 2nd. There's still frosty.
Excuses are like assholes.
What? What's that?
You made me
Oh dear, he's dying, fellas.
Everybody has one.
Excuses are like assholes. Everybody has one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
So, which famous... I believe in you.
I don't. It's touch and go, people.
Which famous racehorse won the Preakness in 1973 and went on to win the Triple Crown?
Secretariat, for fuck's sake.
Secretariat.
And he still holds the record for the track.
He ran the fastest race ever recorded. However, no one could agree on the exact timing.
And didn't they have to, they eventually, years later, off a video, they finally said this is his time.
Yes. So during the race, the official electronic timing system at Pimlico Race Course malfunctioned.
Yeah.
It either didn't trigger properly or failed to record a final time.
Yep.
So instead of one clean official number, there were multiple different times being reported.
Right.
The official time posted after the race was 1:55, so a minute 55.
Yeah.
But two independent clockers, people manually timing the race, recorded faster times. One of those was 1:54.
Right.
Which would have been a track record. So you can understand the dispute, right?
Right.
The official system says one thing, human timers say another.
Human timers.
Mm-hmm. So for decades, I think this should be our title.
I think so too.
For decades, the official record stayed at a minute 55, and this turned into a long-running debate in horse racing. Finally, in 2012, almost 40 years later, the Maryland Racing Commission went back and reviewed the race using video analysis and the original evidence. They officially changed the time to a minute 53, so even faster than the human timers.
Yep, the human timers.
And it made it the fastest Preakness ever won.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's no way that's ever being broken. I shouldn't say no way. It's very highly unlikely for that to ever be broken.
If you have not watched the Disney movie Secretariat with Diane Lane, it is one of my favorite
movies?
No, like my favorite non-animated Disney movie. It's like one of my favorite non-animated Disney movies.
Gotcha.
It is so good. And it's called Secretariat. So good.
I personally still like Seabiscuit.
And I have yet to watch that, so I need to.
I love that movie.
So, what unique tradition happens immediately after the winner of the Preakness Stakes is declared official? And I have options if you need them.
Yeah, give them to me.
The jockey signs the finish line.
No.
A cannon is fired in the infield.
No.
A painter climbs up and updates a weather vane with the winner's colors.
No.
The horses walk through the grandstand.
The horses walk through the grandstand.
A painter climbs up.
No way.
And updates a weather vane with the winner's colors.
Because at one point, they used to take the winner through the infield. Mm-hmm. And whatnot, but they probably don't do that anymore because horses are way too valuable.
Yeah.
But
that makes sense.
That's fucking insane.
Yeah, so as soon as the race is official, a painter literally climbs a ladder in the infield and updates a weather vane to match the winning owner's silks, or the colors worn by the jockey.
So is that kept until the next year?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
The horse and rider on top get repainted to reflect that victory.
That's cool.
The tradition goes back to 1909 when the original weather vane sat atop the members' clubhouse at Pimlico Race Course. That building dated back to when Pimlico opened in 1870, but it was destroyed in a fire in 1966.
Oh, wow.
So at Pimlico, the original clubhouse had a cupola with a weather vane on top.
Yeah.
But it's like a little. I had to look it up, a cupola, but it's
I've heard of that, but I don't.
It's like a bell tower looking thing without a bell. I don't know.
Yeah. Anyways.
But after the building burnt down, they built a replica in the infield so that the weather vane tradition could continue.
Well, that's kind of a neat tradition.
It's super neat.
Hear that. I did hear that they used to walk the horse through the infield, but I never heard that one before.
Yeah. What is the name of the iconic Preakness trophy?
Oh, fuck. Do you have options?
I do. Okay. The Silver Cup, the Woodland Vase, Pimlico Plate, or Maryland Crown.
Isn't it the plate?
It is the Woodland Vase.
It is, okay. Because does the Belmont give you a plate? I thought I could be thinking of something else completely, though. Okay.
So in 1917, the Preakness Stakes began awarding the Woodland Vase, one of the most valuable trophies in sports.
That's crazy.
It's made of solid sterling silver and was handcrafted in the 1800s by Tiffany & Co.
Wow.
with detailed engravings and figures of horses and jockeys built into the design.
Okay.
The winner doesn't actually get to keep it
No.
because of its age, the craftsmanship, and the value.
So wait, it's reused every year?
It's only for show. They
Gotcha.
bring it to the race. They take pictures. They immediately take it back.
Is it like the Stanley Cup where they put the winner of that year on, or?
No.
No?
I don't
Okay.
believe so. No. The original vase is treated more like a museum artifact than a trophy.
Sure.
It's kept at the Baltimore Museum of Art and only brought to the race under heavy security
Well, I can
for
only-
the ceremony, the presentation
I can only
ceremony.
imagine how much that's worth.
Oh, I have numbers.
Good.
Yes. What the winner takes home instead is a smaller replica,
Sure.
about half the size, so that they still get that moment and that recognition.
Right.
So, as of 2017, because that's the numbers that I saw,
Okay.
according to an article,
That's fine.
that trophy, $4 million.
Jesus Christ.
Yes.
I thought you said one of the most expensive because I think the FIFA World Cup, is that right? Is that the soccer football?
FIFA?
FIFA?
FIFA? FIFA?
It's FIFA.
Faux fum?
Oh my God.
I don't know anything about soccer, so you're probably right.
I don't either, and I'm not even talking about the game. I'm talking about this fucking trophy. It's an ugly fucking trophy, but it's very,
It's expensive.
very expensive. But same thing with the Stanley Cup.
And that's
Oh, fucking
that's
hell.
that's hockey.
Yes.
I took pictures with the Ryder Cup when the Ryder Cup golf tournament was in Sheboygan.
Cool.
Yeah.
I mean, we're talking about the Stanley at the time, but all right.
Okay, so
Anywho.
that's all I have for the questions and the history of the Preakness.
Oh, that's it?
However, I have news updates.
News updates.
Yeah. In 2026,
Yeah.
the Preakness Stakes is not being held at Pimlico.
It's not? Why not?
No.
Is it being
It is being held at Laurel Park, in Laurel, Maryland.
Okay.
Because the Pimlico is undergoing a massive reconstruction project,
Okay.
and the track is essentially being rebuilt to modernize the facility, and they're hoping that it's going to be ready for Pimlico, going to be ready for the Preakness next year.
2027. Okay.
Yes.
Crazy.
Now, this April, as in, by the time you're hearing this, as of about 3 weeks ago,
Yeah.
2 or 3 weeks ago,
Yeah.
there is a slight shift in this horse racing power dynamic.
How so?
Churchill Downs Incorporated, CDI,
Yeah.
the company that runs Kentucky Derby, bought the intellectual property rights to the Preakness and the Black-Eyed Susan races for about $85 million.
I figured it would be more than that, but okay.
Intellectual property is only the name, the branding, and the trademarks.
Right.
It's the identity of the race.
Right.
But Maryland, the state, still runs the race.
Right.
So Churchill Downs doesn't physically take over the event. They just license the rights back to the state of Maryland, which pays to keep hosting it.
That's weird. Mm-hmm. Okay.
So Churchill Downs now controls the Kentucky Derby and the Preakness brands.
Mm-hmm.
This gives them influence over 2 of the 3 Triple Crown races, and this could impact scheduling,
Sure.
pushing the Preakness back a week, therefore pushing the Belmont potentially back a week.
But see, if you think about it, you don't really have to. If you push the Preakness back
3
a week,
weeks, 3 weeks.
yeah,
Yeah.
it'd be 3 and 3. That's. I mean, at least a nice even round, whatever you want to call it, number. But
It could also impact media deals and the long-term control of the Triple Crown structure. So Maryland
That's
keeps the race at Pimlico Race Course, which is more of their economical impact,
well, yeah,
a
because
draw of coming to
obviously
Maryland.
all the people there are going to spend all that money around it. They're not going to spend money around the intellectual property.
Well,
So-
they no longer own the race's identity, so they're essentially renting their own historic event.
I don't like that.
Isn't that weird?
That's very weird. I don't like
Yeah.
that. I'm kind of.
So that's the history and kind of the present day of the Preakness.
So, do you know who started the dinner party stakes / Preakness / whatnot?
I
Don't
did at
look it up.
I did at one point, but I did not.
The Baltimore Jockey Club.
Okay.
Do you know when they started?
No.
1773.
Okay.
Which is fucking wild because it was prior to us being a country. So it's been around a bit. But yeah, they, and I believe, if I'm not mistaken, they suspended racing during the Civil War.
Okay.
Which would obviously make sense. That was one of them. I think also they didn't do a whole lot during the Revolutionary War either. But I believe that's one thing I heard a while back. It's a good race, but man, the Derby to me it's my race, if you will.
Yeah.
But I like watching the Preakness. I love watching the Belmont. I love watching the grainy ass old film you can find of Secretariat fucking destroying everybody in all 3 races, because he still is and will ever be my favorite horse. Even if I don't like the movie as much as you do. It's a decent movie. I don't mind it.
I love it.
But
it's so heartwarming.
You got to watch Seabiscuit.
I do have to watch Seabiscuit.
Because if you want some fucking heartwarming shit, man, that horse brings some people together. Fuck. Seriously. It's a great movie. It's got Jeff Bridges,
Tobey Maguire,
Elizabeth Banks, Chris Cooper. He's the trainer.
Chris. I like Chris Cooper.
I do. I like him too. I love Jeff Bridges. Some other people I'm just drawing a blank off at the moment. But it's a great movie.
Yeah.
It's, and everything, because he defeated War Admiral, who was a Triple Crown winner.
Oh.
Speaking of that.
I've heard of War Admiral.
Who, how many years ago, and who was the last Triple Crown winner?
Ooh. I remember American Pharaoh, but I don't think he was the last. Nope. No, there was something.
There was too close. He was the first.
The first, and then not too long after
was another one.
Yeah, I don't recall what the latest one is.
Justify.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, and what year? Guess which year?
Oh gosh, I'm gonna say 2001.
No, not that long ago.
Oh, really?
2018.
You said not that long ago. Oh, 2001. I meant 21. I always do that. I always say 2001 when I mean 2021.
Back in the aughts.
So
I just say
2018.
I think it's Shawshank Redemption when he's like, I've been here since '05, became librarian and whatever.
I do that all the time with my numbers. I'm terrible with numbers. Okay.
You omit one?
So how did you like the Black Eyed Susan drink? That's so good.
I don't know what it was. I don't know if I used different bourbon / vodka or whatever. This was way better than the one I had the other day.
Good.
Because I was chatting with a guy I know. He's a bartender. He made me one. And I'm like, I don't really care for this.
So say the recipe once more.
It's 1 ounce of bourbon. I use Maker's Mark. It's 1 ounce of vodka. I use Tito's. It's 1 ounce of peach schnapps. I used whatever fucking little shooter I have because I ain't buying a big bottle of that shit.
Yeah.
Because that's a waste.
We don't do a lot of liquor. No.
I'm not allowed to have bourbon anymore because of people in my life. So.
Not me.
I'd have bourbon on the podcast all the time, but I'm not allowed.
Not me.
Anyways, 2 ounces of sweet and sour mix, 2 ounces of orange juice. You're supposed to garnish it with a cherry and orange slice, but I didn't bother with that. But it's just a garnish anyways. Yes, could you eat them and put them in your drink? Sure, but whatever. So it's actually quite simple.
Yeah, it's good.
What's that? Five different things, not very much, and not very much of each, to be honest. So I just did us in, what are these called? Highball glasses, right? Rocks glasses, whatever.
They're crystal glasses in my eyes. I don't know.
Anyways, that is a great face.
Also, how did you because you opened up your Leinenkugels. I have not.
I have had orange shandy before.
Oh, okay.
The reason why I bought the variety pack. It came with the orange shandy, summer shandy, the honey lemon light, and then the Liney Lodge lime, which we've definitely had the lime before. So I gave those to you. I took the shandy. I've had orange before. It's fucking delicious. It's not as good to me for an everydayer as summer, but orange is great.
Good.
My buddy Al's, my buddy Casey, all like this as well, but it's hard to beat summer. But anyways, so yeah, well, hopefully we taught you something about the Preakness. If you like what you hear, please help support us. If you'd like, go to our website, historybuffoons.podcast.com. There's a link up top. Anything helps us do some research stuff, whatever, blah, blah, blah. So if you like what you hear, please help us and support us. Otherwise, we just hope you enjoyed this. And we're throwing around doing the Belmont already this year.
Yeah, I don't know.
We'll see, because we did
this year or next year. I don't know.
We did the Derby last year, so I said I would like to do the Preakness this year because we did the Derby. So I don't know. I'd like to think we're still around next year, so maybe let's shoot for next year.
Okay.
See what happens.
Well,
I suppose. All right, buffoons, that's it for today's episode.
buckle up because we've got another historical adventure waiting for you next time. Feeling hungry for more buffoonery? Or maybe you have a burning question or a wild historical theory for us to explore?
Hit us up on social media. We're History Buffoons Podcast on YouTube, X, Instagram, and Facebook. You can also email us at historybuffoonspodcast@gmail.com. We are Bradley and Kate, music by Corey Akers.
Follow us wherever you get your podcasts and turn those notifications on to stay in the loop.
Until next time, stay curious and don't forget to rate and review us.
Remember, the buffoonery never stops.